Right now on Cole's Corner, no more second chances. How one MLB team continues to get berated as the league villain and how long it will last. Plus, today's guest is a good friend of mine, but we have to cheer him up. He's suffering through one of his favorite teams being booed all over and another with no future in sight. Welcome into Cole's Corner. I'm Cole, and this is my corner. Thank you for being here. However you may be listening or watching, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or the Cole's Corner YouTube channel. So I've been doing some thinking after watching some baseball over the last couple of weeks. There's one thing that's still so funny to me, which leads me to this. Getting second chances are hard to come by, because you either get them or you don't. And I'm talking anything. Relationships, second chances, job opportunity, second chances, legal second chances. Whoever's deciding or making the decision on if you're worthy of a second chance could simply come down to the situation or the mood of the day or the pressure of the public or the freaking weather. Who knows? It depends on the kind of person you're dealing with in the attempt to get a second chance after, say, you cheat on your girlfriend. Is she forgiving? Is she a grudge holder? It could be the state of your judge's mood when in the midst of legal trouble, he's in a bad mood, handing down probations and extra years, or he's happy, sentence reduced, 3 less months of community service. It's all so undefinitive. It's been over a year and a half since the Houston Astros were handed down punishments by Major League Baseball and made the devil spawn by the league, using video to steal signs, banging trash cans to alert the batter what pitch was coming, these buzzer things on their chest. They took it to another level, crossed the line, they paid for it. What's funny is that they messed with the single worst franchise/fan base you could mess with, the New York Yankees. These fans are brutal. They can be toxic. They're the girlfriend with the extensive grudge holding with a piercing attitude that'll rip you apart. They'll hold it over you forever. No second chance. If it's any other fan base they did that to, yeah, there'll be some resentment. There'll be some, things said, hatred towards it. But not like this. Yankee Nation takes it real personal. If it wasn't the Yankees, I don't think people would forget about it much sooner than you think. But both in 2017 and 2019, the Astros took down the Yankees in the ALCS. Both the years they were investigated as cheating. 2019 ending with the Altuve blast off of Chapman, the walk-off to go to the World Series. Yankees world isn't forgetting those moments. So for me, I'm a Yankees fan, have been since I was 5. Does this whole thing bother me? Yes, of course. But it bothers me in a different way. In a situation like this, I'm willing to give that second chance. I want to see good baseball, entertaining baseball. Those Houston Astros teams from 2017 through 2019, fun as hell. Probably my favorite team to watch up and down the roster. And the show they put on in the 2017 World Series will forever be in my head. This is coming from a lover of baseball and a Yankee fan who has had his heart ripped out by the Houston in 2017 when they beat the Yankees in 7 games. But you know what? I loved the story. I respected the team. Did I lose some respect for them after all this whole thing came out? Yes, for sure. But I'm not going to hold on to it anymore. I just want to see them back. Watch Altuve and Bregman and those guys keep up and rise up and show everyone they can play baseball at the championship level without pulling the things they did. Second chances could come and go. But look at the context. It's one of the most exciting franchises in sports in the last decade. Cheat or not, they gave me baseball memories I will never forget, so I will let them off the hook for that. As fun as booing Yankee fans and creating animosity, how fun that is, I hope some people will ease up on the hatred. Give them another shot. I'll be the nice judge, the caring boss, and the forgiving girlfriend on this one. Let's just play ball. So now we bring on Paul Barker, Houston Astros guy. We got to see how he's taking all this disrespect thrown their way. And we have Buffalo sports to get to. One is just depressing and hard to watch, but the Bills seem to be the city savior for the time being. So we got to cheer him up a little bit. We got to see what his thoughts are and a lot of other fun stuff to get to. College, those stories and more. So now we bring on my man Paul Barker. Oh, it's been some time since I got to hang out with this guy. If you guys don't know, roommates in college at Medaille College, the great institution of Medaille College in Buffalo, New York. Dorm for a couple years, then lived together in 2019, the 2018-19 school year. Paul, how's it going?
Hey, it's good, man. Good to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I did come over to Buff. What was it? Probably a couple months ago. Probably 3 months ago, 2.5. That was
Yeah, a
fun.
couple of buddies. We went out to Duff's, got some wings.
Yeah, yeah. I will tell you this, Paul. I promise you. I'm not saying this just because, but wings anywhere else are not the same unless it's at Duff's in Buffalo. I
Man,
promise.
I don't think you've been to Barbell yet. I've been going there quite a bit now.
I heard that was like a underappreciated kind of wings over there. Like everyone talks
It's a
about
great
Duff's
one.
and Anchor Bar, but what's this place like? What do you rate the wings at there?
I give them probably a 9 or a 10. They may be the best wings in Buffalo. A lot of people are saying like Barbell, Elmo's, Gabriel's Gate is like the top wing spot. I've never tried Elmo's, but I've been to Gabriel's Gate and Barbell, and they're pretty good.
So I was in Buffalo for 4 years and never even heard of these places or tried them. This is
Actually, the
rough.
first time I went to Barbell was like 6 months ago, maybe. That was the first time I've ever been there.
Yeah. I just think, okay, so I'll just generalize it and say the wings in Buffalo. Anywhere you go, you're going to get good wings. Doesn't compare anywhere else. I promise you that.
Yeah, have you
But
had any wings out there yet
I
in
sure
Arizona?
have, and they're not bad, but nothing's going to compare to that. That's why any chance I get, we're going to
They probably
Buffalo for
just have
wings.
like buffalo sauce too. They don't go with like mild, medium, hot. They probably just buffalo.
No, you can get the mild, medium, hot, but they're just not just the size of the wings, the quality of the chicken, just not the same, man. It's just not even close. But Paul, we're gonna get into the sports stuff now. I wanted to talk to you about this. Just last week, we'll get into some baseball here. If you guys don't know, Paul's a Houston Astros fan, big time. Him and his family, even named their dog after the Astros, and that dog doesn't like me either. Every time I
So
go,
he doesn't like a lot of people. He's very protective.
yeah. But you know, last week, Yankees and Astros, and we all know the whole thing with the Astros, the whole 2017 World Series, the 2019 season, and the whole dilemma with that going on. The what people are calling the cheating, the Astros cheaters. They're kind of became the villain of Major League Baseball. And this was the first time that they stepped into Yankee Stadium since that 2019 when Altuve walked off Chapman to go to the World Series. Um, Altuve booed, everyone else getting booed, but Altuve the worst.
Oh
Guy
yeah, for sure.
screaming "fuck Altuve" over and over again. It's just what are your thoughts on that? On just this whole situation? Because I'll tell you, Paul, I'm kind of indifferent about it. I'm not one of those. Of course, Yankee fan since I started watching baseball at 5 years old, but I'm not the type of one who's gonna. I'm not gonna hold that against these guys. I'm not gonna scream "fuck Altuve" over and over again. This was an Astros team that I really appreciated and enjoyed, especially in 2017, as we'll get to in a minute. So I'm not all in on that. I'm indifferent about the situation. Just as an Astros fan, what are your thoughts on this whole situation and the Astros being kind of the redheaded stepchild, the hated thing out of this whole thing?
Well, where do I begin? All right, so I guess they kind of like deserve it. If you cheat and they're like to the extent that they did, because a lot of cheating goes on in baseball, whether even like when we were younger, like not this isn't the same extent, but when we were younger, you would look at the catcher, see what pitch is coming, maybe like raise your hand or do something to show the hitter, like, oh, it's a fastball or an off-speed pitch. But to the extent of like banging a trash can and like having videos, like that just goes to the past like the line that basically is like a cheating line, I guess you could say.
Mm.
So I mean, everybody cheats, but they just took it to like the extra extent, I would say. And they deserve it. If the Yankees and any other teams want to boo them and whatever, do it. Who cares? Like they're professionals. They should be able to handle it. They won 1 out of 3 games. The first inning of game 1, they're getting booed like crazy because it's the first game. The atmosphere is like a playoff game, and Bregman goes deep. Like you can tell, like the booing and stuff. I mean, it probably gets to them, but they're still gonna perform.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're gonna get booed, who cares? Like boo them all you want. Like I just hope they make the playoffs this year. They have a good run, and everybody like in a couple of years is just forgotten. And I really want to see an Astros Yankees playoff series because you know how insane that would be.
Yeah, it would be, and especially if by the time that happens in October, you might be seeing more fans packed in. I don't know how through the course of the season if fans are going to be more going to be let into the stadiums, but
let's hope.
I will never that just those series between the Yankees and Astros in 17 and 19 were unbelievable, and I that was the start of like a new rivalry, I thought, and it's something I thought would go on for a while. And I think now because of this whole thing, I think it has the opportunity to even heat up even more. That would be great if they could play in the playoffs. But speaking of that 2017 team, though, Paul, that was the year we dormed together. That was,
yes, it was.
We had some fun nights watching those. Yankees and Astros battles, and then in the World Series specifically. I will say in my lifetime, Paul, that was, as a baseball fan, my favorite World Series I've ever seen. Those 7 games between the Astros and the Dodgers, and not even that, we even got a taste of it live somehow because your dad was at Game 5, probably the best World Series game in history that goes 12 innings. Astros walk it off on a Bregman hit. We were getting FaceTime calls from your dad, but because of the delay, he's calling us 10
like
seconds before it happened.
Before they walked off, I get a FaceTime call and my dad's calling me. I'm like, I show you and you're like, we already know what happens now. Yeah. Like, obviously they're going to walk it off here. And it's just crazy. It is insane how like crazy that stadium was and how you could hear it over the phone. And we get that call like even before it happened on TV.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the walk-off. It was probably 5 or 6 times throughout. I know, especially that
Altuve homer.
It was the Gurriel homer, the Altuve tying 3-run shot in like the 7th inning or something. It was a lot of stuff, but it was so funny.
If you remember the story that my dad's told millions of times, him and Brian Duff, who's the pregame and intermission guy for the Sabres, he's a big Astros fan too. They go down there together, and they're sitting in like, I think it's like the 200 level, maybe in right field. And they go down, was it 3-0, 4-0 to start the game. My dad takes a walk. And he goes to have a smoke. My dad's a smoker, you know that for a fact. So he goes and takes a walk and has a smoke. And the Astros tie the game. He comes back to the seats. The Dodgers take the lead 7-4. And they're like, my dad goes for a walk again. And he comes back, like he goes for a walk. They tie the game again. He comes back to the seats and everybody's like telling him, get the fuck out of here. Like, like these superstitious fans are like, get the fuck out of here. And then, in the 9th inning, when the Astros are winning and the Dodgers tied it up, my dad was just standing at the top of his section, not even in the seats, because he wants to be able to find the guy he was with after the game, just standing at the top of the section, and they tie the game. So my dad leaves again, and he's standing over by the Crawford boxes, and they end up walking off the game. So he paid so much money to go to this game and sit in his seats, and every time he did, he was just getting harassed.
That's not awesome, but it's kind of funny. Just being there. I mean, you could be standing. I would stand over hundreds of feet away just to be there, just to be at that
At
spot.
a
That
World
was,
Series game, like any
oh
World Series
man.
game.
Yeah, that was but that was just funny because every your phone would ring and we were like, oh, something happening. You'd
Yeah.
answer your dad. You can't even hear what your dad's saying. You just hear screaming and cheering, and then he's just like, how do they? And we're like, okay. And then like 5 seconds later, Altuve hits a bomb, and we're like, there we go.
And then
But that,
two
that was
years
awesome.
later, he went to the Nationals World Series in Washington too with the same guy. Not as crazy of a story then, but he also went to another World Series game.
Mhm.
The two World Series that in my lifetime that my favorite team and our favorite team plays, and he goes.
Lucky guy. Hey, he's a great guy though. We love your dad Paul, but
He is a great guy.
that's good stuff though. That was a fun time, and like I said, that was one of the favorite. I respected the Astros. I loved that team. It turns out, there was some stuff, but here's my whole thing on it, Paul. Regardless of cheating or not, banging on a trash can, letting your guy know that there's a fastball coming or a breaking ball coming, you still have to be able to hit the baseball.
Yeah, you
Here's
still have
here's
to be
my
able to
whole.
hit it.
This is my whole thing on it. Is you still have to be able to hit the baseball. Baseball is one of the toughest sports in the world. It's up there with golf, and the hand-eye coordination is so unbelievably tough. That's why if you hit the ball, you get a base hit 3 out of 10 times, you're considered successful. 3 out of 10 times. You have a 70% failure rate, and you're considered a Hall of Famer if you do it over the course of your career. It's a tough sport to hit the baseball. You still have to be able to hit it, whether you know a fastball or curveball is coming or not, or a slider, or a changeup. You still have to be able to hit it. The talent throughout this roster, up and down, you can blame them, call them cheaters all you want, but they still have to be able to hit the baseball. They still have to take care of it on the defensive side. You still have to
Pitching.
have the pitching.
Yeah.
They had the pitch. It's something that I'm not going to hold over forever. There's people that will never let that go. There's people that are going to boo the Astros for the rest of time. But if you ask me, seeing those Astros teams over the last few years and what I think is still going to continue, even though no more Garrett Cole, no more Justin
There's talks. He might be back by the end of the year. I mean,
yeah,
I doubt it, but
yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Without Garrett Cole, without no more George Springer in center field, this team is still a team that can continue, kind of pick back up where they left off. And I mean, I have them winning the West this year too. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation as a
I guess we'll
baseball
see how
fan. You
much I
kind of
get booed when they come to Buffalo and I'm wearing my Astros jersey to the games.
yeah. When is that? When do they come?
June weekend right after the Marlins. So it's like June 5th, 6th, and 7th or something.
Okay, so it's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Isn't that going to be weird seeing Major League Baseball being played right there in
Oh,
Buffalo?
it's gonna be weird, but it's gonna be amazing to actually see a MLB game right in Buffalo,
Yeah,
25 minutes
that's
from my
awesome.
house.
So, and then just if you look, just what 2 minutes down the street from Salem Field, there, you got the KeyBank Center,
Yep.
Buffalo Sabres. I want to get to you on this because a lot of hockey talk surrounding the Sabres over the last couple of days, Paul. They just had a lot of their kind of season ending press conferences with management, players. It's a bad scene in Buffalo right now. They obviously had an awful season. Did they finish last? Where are they?
Yes, they
Worst
finished last.
worst team in the NHL. Not only that, but their star player Jack Eichel, who has kind of kept the engine running for the last few years. They're having disputes with management because of his injury and whether he is going to have surgery or not. He's not happy with the way he's been handled. With you have other players who don't seem like they're looking to come back. Give me your thoughts on what you're seeing and hearing over there in Buffalo right now for the state and the state of the future of the Buffalo Sabres right now.
Okay, so the three like older guys now. I remember when they were young and they were like, "Oh, I'm so excited to be here." And you got Ristolainen, the first guy, who's like everybody's wanted him out and like tried to convince on their Twitter to trade Rasmus Ristolainen. But I like the guy. He's very physical. He's one of our best defensemen. Like when he's playing on a better team and he's not getting 25 minutes a game like a first defensive pair, he's going to be good. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Probably not going to stay here after. So I would, if I was the GM, let's say, I would trade him either like over the summer or at the trade deadline next year. And then you got a guy like Sam Reinhart, who's an RFA this year, his last year of RFA. So they have his rights. What do you do with him? Do you sign him for a year and then next year he's a UFA and walks? I mean, I heard this on the radio. They want him to put like a 3-4 year maybe deal in front of him, like $7 million, especially if you're going to trade Eichel. He would be your first line center. Sam Reinhart would be your first line center. So maybe put a 3-4 year deal in front of him, like $7 million. If he signs, then I guess like that would be your first line center. If he doesn't sign and he just wants a 1 year deal, that means he's probably gone the following year. So probably got to trade him too to get at least something for him. Because nowadays you're letting these guys walk. You're not getting anything for him. Like, wouldn't you rather have prospects or more guys to fill your roster or picks to kind of like replace these guys? And then you got Eichel, who is probably a top 5 center in the NHL. And he's, I don't know, 6th, 7th year in the NHL. And how long can he take this for? Like, honestly, like, if you aren't stupid, you would see this coming. Like, after how many years of the Sabres being bad and him just like them being the laughing stock of the NHL, like you had to have seen it coming. So at this point, I'm like, it's probably going to happen anyway. So you might as well do it and get something for him. But a lot of people are complaining on Twitter saying, "Oh, we suck because of him. He's not a good captain," all that stuff. Like, he's a top 5 center in the NHL and the worst team. Like, would you be happy if you're going and you're playing on the worst team, like losing and losing every year? Like, obviously their goal is to win a Stanley Cup. So he doesn't want to be here. Like,
yeah, that's
the whole management thing about like, okay, so either he can get the surgery and the rehab time period is like six weeks or something, I read, if you get the surgery, but there's no guarantee the surgery fixes the problem. Or you just rehab a shit ton until next year and you get better that way. And they want him to just rehab. And obviously he wants the surgery and they're not agreeing on that.
Yeah, that's definitely not good to see your star player having these disagreements with management. That's when stuff goes south. This kind of reminds me of what's going on right now in the NFL with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He's their quarterback. He's the face of the franchise. Reports saying he wants out. There's a rift between him and their GM. What do you do when your star player, the face of the franchise, is trying to get out? What's the next step?
Like, if he's saying like, I want to be gone, like Aaron Rodgers is, you got to trade him. Technically, Jack Eichel hasn't came out and said, trade me. But after like hearing his press conference and not knowing what's said behind closed doors between him and the GM or the owners, he hasn't said trade me yet. So I guess you can keep him on that front and try to like please whatever he wants and like do whatever he wants to keep him around. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a different situation when it comes to between hockey and football, obviously. Yes.
A lot more football guys sit out when they're not happy. You haven't seen an NHL guy in a while sit out over something like this.
Well, also, let me ask you, just being a hockey guy, and they're the worst team in the league. Say they weren't the worst team in the league. Say they're in the middle pack or upper middle pack, and they're like making the playoffs here. Would the loss of a Jack Eichel be the same would that be equal to, say, a Green Bay Packers team losing their quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, who is last year's MVP? What is the
And led
difference?
them to almost the Super Bowl. I think that is like if they were a playoff team and they made it that far, and Eichel was like putting up points like McDavid, where he has like 100 points in the 50 something games they play right now, it's pretty much like the same thing.
Okay. So it's a little equal. It's just different. It's seeing how it plays out in different sports. It's interesting to see. So, but yeah, it's a mess there, Paul. I pray for you, man. It's been a lot. I mean, if you just look back a couple years ago, what was it? 2019 season? They started off as they had the best record in the NHL, and
Oh
they
yeah, they
won.
went on that 11 game win streak, and
And then
everybody.
everything just went like to a screeching halt, and they still ended up at the bottom of the league. And then the last 2 years obviously have been a disaster. So, I mean, I pray for you. I want the Sabres to be good, just so bring some
They have
hope
young
back to
talent. Like
Buffalo.
looking at the team this year, who played after like Eichel got hurt. Like you have guys like Cousins and Middlestat. Reinhardt had a phenomenal year. Like he had like 25 goals in the shortened season. Like he had a phenomenal year. And you have guys like Cousins and Middlestat and Tage Thompson. They all looked great this year. Like those three young guys. And then you have Darlene who looked okay. But you have a lot of young guys that have potential. So I mean, you have some potential with young guys, but if you trade, like let's say they traded Eichel and Reinhardt, that's like, I don't know, four prospects maybe and
Yeah.
a pick or two, like that you're going to get prospects. So, I mean, they would still have a lot of young guys that can work. So, I don't know. It'd be a question mark if they traded them and got more prospects, and
Hmm.
because their team would be super young.
Yeah. Well, Paul, at least, you have one team going for you in Buffalo. So we'll get to the Bills here. You already Buffalo has been a city that has been just so disappointed and frustrated and for so long between the Sabres and the Bills. Last year, finally, something came to fruition for the city of Buffalo. One of the most passionate sports fan base you can see across the country, I think. And just being there myself for 4 years, you can see that. The season the Bills had last year, Paul, can can you describe, was there a different vibe in the whole entire city of Buffalo, the Buffalo area, even over in Niagara Falls where you are? Did you feel something different? Even as crazy as that sounds, does the environment seem different when just the Bills are winning? When the
I
Buffalo
just feel
Bills are
like
on top?
a lot more people I feel like wear Bills stuff when they're doing good, and like you would see them like in Bills gear. But I mean, it's different because during COVID, nobody was really like going to the games. Nobody was really like out that much, so you couldn't really see it like at the games or around. But I would say there was a different vibe like to the city when the Bills are doing good and everybody's like watching the games and happy about the games and they're making it that far. Like even, I went to the first game against the Colts, like just being there and limited capacity, and that place was like rocking. And even the game after that for the Ravens game, and that place was rocking. Like, and that's limited capacity. I have season tickets next year, so I'm excited to go to the first game and see if it's full capacity in that stadium, how loud it's going to be when
Yeah.
they step onto the field.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I will, yes, I will remember the pick six against the Ravens that turned that game upside. Who was it? Who got it?
Ron Johnson.
Deron Johnson. That was the turning point. I mean, the Ravens are knocking on the door of tying the football game, and you never know what could happen after that. That pick six, game's over. Bills win. That run back from the 101-yard return he had, or whatever it was, that place was freaking loud. And
Yeah.
that place was at what, a quarter of its capacity? It wasn't even. It was
Yeah. It
like
wasn't a lot of
25.
people in there.
It was ridiculous. Um, that's just watching it on the television. That's hearing the natural sound through the screen on NBC that night. And I did see you went. That was awesome that you got to go to that first playoff game. And being there for what, the first Bills playoff win since 93, was it? It was
Yeah,
93 or
their
95.
first home, their first playoff game home since we've
Yeah.
been alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, before before we were alive. And they that was so special in Buffalo. So like you go from that to shifting to this next season where you will have more fans. What's this place gonna be like? Buffalo's a drinking city. We all know that. A lot of partying and drinking going on in the city of
For
Buffalo.
sure.
What do you think? What do you think produces more drinking in Buffalo? Is it the tough times and the losing, or is it when they're winning and they're on top? Which brings it?
The
What are we
Bills
gonna see
winning
this?
on the Bills winning and every Sunday morning, people just getting hammered to go to the games.
Okay, all right. So you think potentially coming up in the fall of 2021, winter hopefully of 2022, there'll be a tick up in drinking in Buffalo because they're winning, huh?
Yep.
Okay, okay, good stuff. All right, but speaking of that though, they came out with the NFL schedule today, Paul. Bills slated for week 1. They got the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. What are you thinking about it? If you're going to be there, you say you're going to be there. So how excited are you and what do you
Oh,
think?
I'm very excited to actually like go to a game and hopefully they have full capacity, like, and just get back to some normalcy when a stadium is like actually full if it happens. And Big Ben, he's too old, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna.
No, I
He was
think the
having
Steelers.
trouble throwing the ball last year, and
Oh yeah. No, I think the Steelers are in trouble. But we look at the rest of the AFC. The Bills got to the AFC title game last year, but you have to look at the Cleveland Browns potentially getting even better. They almost beat the Chiefs last year, but Chiefs being said, they're going to be the top dog for a while now. So they're still the top dog. The team to beat is the Chiefs if you're the Bills. But outside of that, what do you look at just real quick inside the division? Because the Dolphins seem to get better and better, but the Jets still at the bottom, rookie quarterback. Patriots, who knows? Cam Newton's back. They have a rookie quarterback waiting in the wings to come step up and play though.
a lot
What
of
are you
young
looking for the
quarterbacks.
Bills? Is this a 14 win season for the Bills
I
potentially?
wouldn't say 14. They got a tough road schedule. They got to go to, even though the Saints don't have Drew Brees, they got to go to the Saints. They got to go to Tampa. They got to go to Kansas City. Like those are 3 tough road games right there. So I give them probably 12, 13.
Yeah, because there is an extra game added, so there's 17 regular season games.
Yeah.
So if you give them 13 and 4, that's gonna give you the probably the
And
second
last
seed.
year they were lucky enough to sweep the AFC East. Like that's a tough thing to do. To sweep your division, that is a very tough thing to do.
Yeah, it's tough.
So
Last year, obviously, all those. I mean, outside of the Dolphins, who were on the up and up, but that was definitely a necessity for the Bills to sweep that division because it was pretty weak last year. But this year, I don't know, might be a little tougher.
yeah.
Um, but right now, what are you doing? What's going on with your life post college? Last your senior year was kind of thrown into this weird kind of era of COVID, and you got your season taken away of playing baseball, but now you're out of school. What's going on?
Well, as you know, I got my education degree, so I started subbing in about October. So I've been doing that for a good while now through the school year. It's almost over. The school's got about a month left, and I also just started helping out with the modified baseball team that just started up. So, and then I actually just got a summer job because you can't do nothing over the summer. I'm working at a Bobo Link golf course, so I'll be
Nice.
working over there. That's about it up here.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. You know, it was funny that in school you're always like you're gonna go into education, and I was like, so what do you want to do with it? And you want to be a teacher now. So what's the you're subbing now, but what's the lookout on becoming a full time teacher at some point? What are you looking forward to? Is you got any leads anywhere?
Well, over the summer, I'm probably just going to apply to a bunch of different places. So because of COVID, they give like a COVID certification. You have a year to take like all the tests you need in New York State. So I have to finish up taking a couple of those tests, and then as long as I get my certification, I can apply and be a teacher anywhere.
Good stuff.
And
What's
if
the what's what?
my specialty is like English 7 to 12, and I can also teach special ed 7 to 12.
All right. You'll be teaching some literature. You got any you got any books you want to read?
I don't know. Whatever they tell me, I got to teach the kids. I guess that's about it.
True. And the curriculum. It's all that's what it's based on. But that's good stuff. Cool. I hope you land something. That would be good. But what's your favorite part about teaching? What drove you into that?
Short little story. When I was in high school, I was a senior, and my Spanish teacher got me into this. It's called an OLA program. They don't have it anymore in my high school, but you go and you teach Spanish, like Spanish 1, basically, like your numbers and like colors and stuff. You go teach Spanish to elementary students. I actually taught Spanish my senior year in high school to elementary kids, and like that just got me into teaching and just rode with it.
It's good. Spanish. It's crazy because now as you know, I'm in Yuma, Arizona. We're right on the border. A lot of people over here. It's a lot of Spanish,
Yeah,
and
you're right on
I've
the border of Mexico and
yeah.
California.
Yeah, there's a lot of Spanish going on. That's what the culture over here is a lot of Mexican American. So I've been asked several times, "Do you speak Spanish?" And it's here's the thing, Paul. I was actually not too bad at Spanish in high school, but then once that was done, my junior year, like I can't put together a sentence anymore. I'm like, it's crazy how that shit just like goes out of your head
Oh
like so
yeah, you
quickly.
learned something 5 years ago and it's gone.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I learned a lot of things at Madai over 4 years, and I don't remember a lot of that shit. Like,
Yeah, you're telling me. But yeah, that's pretty cool though. I hope you get something there teaching. That's a good story to start off of. I've definitely had some times where I thought maybe I would want to teach at some point. My grandfather taught for 30 years and retired. My mom's a teacher now, so that's something I always thought
well, you were
about doing when I
subbing
was.
too. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
You
I
did a little
did
bit of
sub
subbing.
for a couple years when I was off of school, so that was interesting. I just sometimes, Paul, I'm gonna be honest, I hate the kids. some kids, some kids just rile me up.
Yeah, you do have a little bit of a little anger problem. So if a student got you
Oh,
going, you might.
oh man, you got to throw that out there. Saying I got an anger issue. No, we're good. Hey, we're getting older. We're evolving
Do I
here.
gotta go over how you broke the bin I had in our room and you just slammed your laptop on the ground?
Yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of those had to do with, girl issues, typical bullshit, but we're not going to get too deep into that.
No.
But hey, we did have a lot of good times at Madai. Any what's one story that sticks out? Something happened. I was roommates with Keelan Bingaman for a year. And then I thought him and his girlfriend were going to be going like off campus or dorming together or something. So you came on to me. We hit it off right away. We became roommates the next year. So we were roommates for 2 years. And then a third when we got our house with Connor and Evan Dunning. So we spent a lot of time together. We did a lot of dumb shit. Some funny stuff. What's one thing that sticks out to you about those 3 years we had?
Well, I think we only lived together for two. It was my sophomore year, which was your junior year, and my junior year, your senior
Oh,
year.
was it only? Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. You are right. I was with Keelan for 2 years. Okay, yeah. So we dormed together one year, and then we
yeah,
lived in the house the next year.
yeah. So I don't know. There's two good stories at the apartment, and I bet you know what I'm going to talk about. So the first one we'll go into. Well, our house in Buffalo almost got broken into. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's
sure did.
probably between 2 and 4 a.m. And it's all like all of our houses around us are probably like apartments, school kids, and it's over winter break. And these people probably think, oh, these kids won't be there. They're probably home visiting family. And you can attest to this. We went home for Christmas break for like a week, and then we came back because we just wanted to be with the boys. And you're sleeping. Connor's in his room with his girlfriend. Dunning's in his room with his girlfriend. I'm laying in my bed, and my room's in the front of the house. And all of a sudden, Connor and his girlfriend like hear somebody like at the window, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? And Connor has this little back room, peeks around, sees a guy with like gloves, and just starts going crazy. And I don't know if it was you or Dunning. You guys thought like there was like a fire or something. Somebody told me they thought like there was a fire or something. So you guys call the police. You Dunning, Cole, or you Dunning, Connor, and the two girlfriends. You guys are all like awake, and I'm just in the front of the house. And at this point, nobody knows where I am. You guys aren't even probably thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the cops show up. After the cops even leave, you come in my room, and I just remember being like half asleep. And I hear like my door open, because my door was loud as hell when you open it, like the screeching noise. So you open my door, and I just see like you three just standing in like the corner of my room, just staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And then I go back to bed, and you guys just tell me the next morning. I'm like, wow, I could have died, and the guy could have been coming through the front of the house, and you wouldn't even have checked on me.
Oh my, yeah. I don't know how you slept through that, man.
I'm a heavy sleeper, man. I get in bed at like 9 o'clock, and if I'm just laying there doing nothing, I'm falling asleep. Like I can fall asleep in like an instant. It's
I
ridiculous.
wish I could fall asleep as quick as that, man. But still, Jesus, that was
Yeah, you guys are screaming. The cops come, and I don't hear.
Connor screaming at the top of his lungs, like, get out of here. He's like, Cole, call 911. We're screaming. We're doing all this bullshit. We go out front. We talk to the cops. We come back inside, and we're like, where's Paul? Paul's still asleep. We're like, we like forgot about you for a minute, because in the moment it was so like crazy.
Yeah.
And we just assume, like, you just assume that you're out there with us, but you're not really paying attention. And we're like, oh my God. Yeah. So there's the one. What's the other one? What's the other story? I probably have a feeling as to where this is going, but
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sitting in Connor's room where me and Connor play the Xbox, and I'm playing online. I think I might be playing with Kyle Powell, who we played baseball with. I think I was playing with him in like club in NHL, and all of a sudden, I know you took Connor to go get his hair cut, and you guys came back from that. And all of a sudden I hear Connor being like, Cole, like, if you better stop fucking around. Like, if you don't stop fucking around, I'm calling the police, or I'm calling an ambulance or something. I was like, and it just kept like escalating and escalating. And I was like, all right, guys, I gotta go. So I even like turned off my game. I'm like, what the hell's going on out here? All of a sudden I come out in the kitchen, and you're passed out. Like, you're just laying there, nothing. Like, you had like a hat on and like a hoodie, like you were bundled up. Like, this is the wintertime. And this happened like 2 weeks after our house got broken into too. Not even, like, it was like right after. And I come out there, and you're profusely sweating. Like, you're just sweating, and you're like locked up. Like, your hands are like in your chest. Like, you can't move you. You can't, like, you're just like locked up, tense. And Connor's like screaming at the ambulance people. He's like, where the fuck are you? Like, hurry up, like just screaming, like, where are you? Where are you? And like everybody's just standing, like looking at you, because we don't know what to do. And it's just like Dunning, me, Connor's on the phone, like looking out the window, like seeing if they're here. And we're just like, what do we do? Like, we have no idea. So we kind of like just push you on your side, and like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden you wake up, and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And this is even before the ambulance people got there. Like, you probably were out for like a good couple minutes, and you woke up even before the ambulance people got there. And you didn't even know what happened. But it was just an insane time. In like 2 weeks, those two things happened where we thought like we didn't know what happened to you.
yeah.
And it happened that your old car was like terrible one.
Yeah.
You were running the heat sitting in there for a while.
Yeah, that was the good old Brooke Davis. That was the name of my car, and she
Good old One Tree Hill.
she was giving out some fumes in the car. I took Connor to go get a haircut.
You were sitting in
downtown.
the car for like an hour. He was
Yeah,
at
it was a solid 45 minutes to an hour, and it was like -2 degrees out, so I was pumping the heat. And lo and behold, it was a few months before I got it patched up because there was carbon monoxide running through. I got it patched up. It must have reopened. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
but you
The
drove all the
crazy
way home
thing,
and you were fine.
yeah, that's the crazy thing. I drove home. I was fine. I felt nothing. I step out of my car and my legs gave out, and I almost
Yeah,
fell into
Connor
a
said you were
stumble. And
stumbling, you
Connor
fell
was
in the
like, "What are you
snow.
doing?" I'm like, "I'm all right." Walk up the stairs into the house. I get up them, but struggling to get up them. Walk inside to the kitchen. I'm holding a bottle of water, taking a sip because I'm starting to get all woozy. I just fall. My legs give out. Fall on the ground, face down. I
Like
don't.
you were drunk, basically.
Yeah,
Like how you were like stumbling and
yeah. It was my legs gave out, and I could. My vision started going double, and I
well,
was
it's
cold.
a good thing that that didn't happen while you were driving.
That's what I'm saying. I would have hit some cars on the side of the street. Could put a Connor could have flown out of the car, but no, that was crazy. Yeah, no, the weirdest thing was I thought I was only out for like 15 seconds, but you guys said it was probably 15 minutes that I was out. So that
That's a
was.
little exaggeration, but it was a good couple minutes like that you were
Oh
out.
yeah. Well, Connor keeps saying it was 15, so I listened to him, but I
You
didn't.
know how he likes to exaggerate on things.
Yeah, he does. But I thought it was like 15 seconds, but it was a few minutes, and yeah, I was completely fine. Woke up the next day, and I was like nothing happened. But
And they told you you better go get checked out, and you're like, I'm
yeah, I was
fine.
like, I'm not doing that. Like it's fine, we're good. So,
And they even asked if like you want to take a ride in the ambulance to the hospital, and you're like, no.
well, I just assumed that with that would come some medical costs, and I'm like, it's not even worth it. I'm
And
just.
I'm pretty sure Connor that called 911, his mom was like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm pretty sure if you called 911,
No, it
like
was
they
my mom.
notify
It
you.
was my mom.
So he called him on your phone, like,
Yeah.
because
I
like
think
if
he
you
just
call
grabbed because I
911,
had my phone and I dropped it, so I think he just picked up my phone and called. I think maybe it was him too, but my mom definitely texted me. Unless that was the night we got broken into, my mom text. That was it. My mom
because you
texted me
called
then.
911 that
Yeah.
night.
So she called me. She texted me. Was like, "Is everything good?" Because I called 911. But yeah, that's
It
crazy
must be like if
stuff.
you're in the same like family like phone plan or something.
Yeah,
I don't know how that
yeah,
works.
yeah. That's how it works. But like crazy stuff at 197 Hughes
Yeah,
Avenue in
in
Buffalo.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but all right, man, we can start to wrap this up. I like to end it with like we'll call it called it a fast five, but one of my guys I had on here before, Nick Karski at ESPN Ithaca Radio, I think they have a fast five, so I changed it. We're gonna call it the Speedy Six. I got 6 questions for you, rapid fire. You got to try to give me an answer as quick and short as possible.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep.
First moment you became an Astros fan.
Oh, the sorry, this isn't quick. When they lost the World Series to the Chicago White Sox is the first like memory I have of like watching the games.
That's how you got your Bagwell jersey, isn't it?
I was a big Bagwell fan. We share the same birthday,
Mm, good
so
stuff. Hall of
that's
Famer. Hall of Famer.
yeah.
That could make you a Hall of Famer too.
I do
Like
have the Hall of Fame patch on that jersey too.
good stuff. Yeah.
That makes me a Hall of Famer.
I think it does. By association. All right. When was the first time you picked up a baseball?
I was 3 when I started T-ball. I think you're supposed to be like 4 or 5, but I started early.
Um, favorite. I guess when. Oh, here we go. Back to Medai College. First time. When was the moment you decided to take on the blue and gold and go to Medai College? What brought you there? First
Um,
step.
I don't know. I knew like a guy at the admissions place, and I knew a couple. Like I knew Ryan Wojcinski before I went there, so like I talked to them, talked to the coach, and just wanted to go play baseball. I guess.
Um, question 4, best memory at Medai. Could be whatever. Could be baseball. What was your
Probably the Florida trips. uh, and us, all the memories we made living together junior year with all the boys at the apartment.
All right. Now to teaching. What's your go-to I guess what's your go-to like phrase or something you say if you got a kind of kids riling you up, he's pissing you off, what's your go-to thing? What do you say to him?
Oh, I just tell them sit down or I'm gonna go get a dean, basically. And I really haven't had that many behavior problems though, so it's like hard. Like I just tell them to sit down and like be quiet and do the work, and they like listen. I mean, I
Sit
guess
down
it's
and
easier.
shut up.
I can't say that. And a lot of
Yeah.
kids take offense to me telling them to shut up and go tell mommy on me.
Yeah, probably. Kids are pretty soft these days, Paul. But
Yeah. Well, I
all
guess
right.
it's a lot easier because there's only half kids in classrooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get 10 kids every day. I've had classes where I've had one kid in it
Mhm.
before. Like it's
Nice.
bad.
Nice. All right, last one. Best part about living in Niagara Falls, New York.
The best part? I don't even know if there is a best part.
Okay, fine. So there's your answer.
Having Canada right across the street, basically.
Okay, that's a good answer. But we'll
And the
extend it.
falls.
We'll have a B part to this question. Best part about being in Western New York and around Buffalo and working for the Sabres, being in Buffalo a lot of your time.
Just the chicken wings and the sports,
Okay,
having the Bills and the Sabres.
beautiful. We didn't get to this, Paul. I was going to. I kind of skipped it because we got into the Sabres and the Bills so much. Your experience, just quick. Playing college baseball. We had some times, and we weren't very good. We struggled a lot. You and I both. We were both kind of. We didn't play a lot. Also, we are the bench guys, the hype guys, and they're just yelling stupid shit from the dugout for
For sure.
5 hours straight for when we had a doubleheader. What's the thing you learn the most playing a college sport and being part of a group like that, and being inseparable for we're together almost all day every day for especially during the season.
I guess you just like make friends and have relationships that like go on like past college. Like I know for an example, me, you, Connor, and Dunning, who live together at the apartment, we're gonna have a friendship until like one of us, like till basically we die. Like you have friends that you can talk to, like past college. It doesn't just end there.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And even I stopped playing, but I was still felt like I was part of it. um
We lived together, and you got to come to Florida with us. So
Oh yeah, that was a good part. That was honestly really fun for me. That was probably one of my best moments, especially the last year going to Florida with you guys. Not having to suit up and do all that stuff, but being there and calling your games and stuff. That was so fun. And hey, I can't say it. I can't say it because if the wrong person hears this, then we're in trouble. But I was gonna say something about the Florida trip, but we're gonna keep that in the back pocket. Maybe for something down the road. But
yeah, I don't know if we can share the Florida trips
I
on
yeah,
video of what happened a few
there's a
times.
specific thing. But yeah. Anyway, Paul, this is fun. I hope you're doing well, man.
For sure, man. It's good to see you and talk to you.
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, you're invited to come out here to the desert whenever you want.
Oh,
We
you know, I'm
you
gonna have
know.
to make a trip out there. We're gonna have to watch some baseball,
Oh yeah,
whether it's San Diego or
yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah, I already knocked out Petco Park in San Diego. Luckily, it happened. I got it out of the way. I'd like to go back, but we still got Arizona, the Diamondbacks. We got the Dodgers. We got the Angels. I'm trying to knock out as much as I can over here while I'm
Yeah,
here.
you're lucky, man. You're right on the West Coast now. I gotta
Yeah.
try. I still got a few on the East Coast to take care of too. This year, I'm going to Miami. My first time going to
Sweet.
Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the whole
That one
AL
up.
East knocked out. All
I haven't
five.
been to Boston yet. I still have yet to go to Fenway.
Oh, you better get there, man. Fenway's awesome. I would recommend Fenway. And then, I mean, my bucket list is to knock all 30 of them out. So we got to, I think yours is probably that too.
It
So,
is the same.
Yeah. So, yeah, whenever, man, you're coming over. I mean, Kai already told Connor that any of you guys are welcome whenever. I
I don't
mean,
want to go with
my
that kid.
day's over at 8 o'clock in the morning on weekdays, and then I got all the weekends off except going to bed at like freaking
Oh, by the
o'clock
way,
on Sunday night.
Greg Lowry likes to watch your little weather and
Greg.
your newscast. He's got this anytime TV where you can just watch like news channels in different areas, and one of them is the Yuma
I didn't even
News.
know that was possible.
You can watch the Yuma News on this little thing that he has,
That's pretty cool.
and he watches you.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to bring Greg on here sometime. That guy's funny.
He's a character.
Yeah, he sure is. But that's pretty cool. I hope I'm doing well enough for him that he enjoys it. But
He says you're doing it all. He said you got the weather, the sports,
yeah,
the
it's an
live
hour-long
action
show. We
stuff.
got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover in an hour. So, all right, man, this is cool. Um, we'll have to get together. I mean, yeah, like I said, you're welcome whenever. So if you want to come to Arizona, I know I'm coming. I have to go to New York sometime in July, but it's going to be a quick trip just to Moravia. So I don't know if I can make it to the falls, but
Hey, maybe I'll take a trip out to you now.
all right. You should. I think maybe if you guys all came on the same weekend sometime, we could have a little party over here.
Oh boy,
Get some sun.
it's like The Hangover Part 4.
Yep. Yeah, that might not be a good idea. No, I think it'd be good. All right, man. This is fun. That was Paul Barker. This is Cole's Corner. See you, buddy.
So yeah, thanks for having me on.